a social media coming at you. 300% free. Garbage pile up in it. Give the teacher them pay. I see corruption see. Mash down the people them out. Every day appear arms out. Appear money them a teeth. And them a sell out the beach. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy Kenyan, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch a line and a result to crime. You can't for me again. Come me say big up all the charities and all of the giver. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The other the promises none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth and rap and down in the whatever. Them a pull money and they lie them them. Corruption spell and they pocket them spell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell go mash up people start and beat with them spell. What they treat the market man. What them a treat the cat man. What they treat the peanut man. What them a treat the dirt man. What them a treat the son man. What them a treat policeman.
Stibby-dim day, stibby-dim day, stibby-dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love Lake. We in Global, bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global, we not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for we in Global TV. Check it.
Good evening and welcome to the Global Television Group. Thank you for joining us this evening. It is your program, The People's Point of View. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're comparing and contrast what is happening in the Ministry of Information and in the government. Good evening to my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers and subscribers, commenters and trolls. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Noreen Dennison, Natalia Freeman, Debbie Jervis. Good evening, good evening. Good evening and welcome. Real sweet, good evening. Gloria Morris, good evening. Sunshine, Jem Ashley, Rachel Williams, JP, Brenda Elson, Yvonne Riley, JP, Claudette Silvera, Joan Bailey, Tash, Marcia Thomas, Christopher Campbell, EM, Norman Ferguson, Pamela Akola, Yvonne Johnson, Carol Roberts, Ron Williams, Beat and Teach, Wagwan. Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome. Thank you all for joining us this evening on the Global Television Group. Some you know, good evening. We're comparing and contrasting this evening what is going on. Let me explain to you first of all.
Like trace, me name look it candidate. Wife a wife, mate a mate, fight a fight, since we break. Me a one girl, me no like trace, me name look it candidate.
Yes, make we move forward. Sandra Morgan. The organizational structure, Yvonne Riley. The Easy Jerk World, well gone, bro. 27 of you like the live already. Come on, man. 88 of you are here. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Jacqueline Murray. Fisher Bennett, Mr. Fisher, Wagwan, good evening. Thank you. I understand you watch global television. Mr. Bennett is from my community. Sheena Kelly, good evening. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the global television family. Sister Faith, Brother Roger, Brother Karen, Cousin Myrna, Cousin Jamie, Sim, everyone, good evening and welcome. Andrew Holness and the whole of them want to steer we around and around. And this happened, that never happened, Georgette Brown. We're take it different way and we're taught and all sort. But make me thought upon you first, Mark Golden. Make me thought upon you, Mark Golden, because nobody believes that this is an easy ride around here. You see, if the People's National Party, Mark Golden, was united, if it was a united People's National Party, and I'm not speaking particularly to Mark Golden only, but Mark Golden as the leader of the People's National Party. If the People's National Party was a united People's National Party, posed in a united front, communicating to the grassroots, and not those who went to university and understand the whiffles and the waffles. Yvette Burrell, good evening. This Jamaica Labour Party government wouldn't be getting away with the lot of the malarkey that they're getting away with. The amount of bone over the last 3 years. Andrew Holness, Choya Mark Golden, Sylvia McKay. Andrew Holness should have been way below the rope already. Still, he's managing to going around slinging mud in the intention of breaching privacy and free speech at the same time. Kevin Davis. Claudette Robinson. Uno are the problem. The divided, splintered, went away. The fire in the belly of the PNP went away with Portia Simpson. And ever since that, Uno is a splintered group here, there, everywhere. I walk and I tear out one another here. Rather than pose a united front, if Uno really serious say, are the people not social democrats? Uno here for the people. Uno mean social democracy. Uno mean well by the people. Observing always. Christine Gilbert. Labour wouldn't be getting away with so much. It's because it's the divided lousiness of the Jamaica Labour Party, of the People's National Party. Why the Jamaica Labour Party cannot ram raid through the country democracy and constitution at the same time. Uno divided PMP. Uno splintered all over the place. Nowhere cannot stand together, cannot stand with each other. People's National Party. Uno are the one. Good evening, Violet Watson. Why Jamaica is in this problem? Because the truth is, over the last 8 years, the People's National Party have not held this government properly to account. It's the truth, they just have not. The amount that this government has given them. I mean, you could bury 10 buffaloes with it, but this government is still standing. You, the divided People's National Party, you think you can go into a general election with this division? Do you think you have a PR machine ready for this general election? Is your social media machine, People's National Party, ready for a general election? You are not showing us that you are ready for this. Martha Couponin Foundation, how are you? You're just not showing us that you're ready for this. You're still dragging behind. Still logging and jogging behind Mark Golden. Ledden Green, good evening. This is one of the major problems why this government is getting away with so much. Abenasar Cody, how are you? Because you are all lagging behind. You are divided. You are splintered. You are all over the place. You can't settle on anything. You can't get it together. You cannot pose a united front. Thereby, you're not a strong opposition, not in parliament nor on the ground. You have given this government so much to get away with. This government has given you so much for you to be strong. Yet, you are lagging behind. Colleen Marks, how are you? Lagging behind Mark Golden. Lagging behind. It is still where you are. Yes, we're not asking you to get into the mud slinging. That's not what we're asking. Labour can stay out there and sling mud if they want. But the grassroots politics, Mark Golden, it still has not come true. Herlan Jones, good evening. Herlan Jones is one of my cousins. He is on the Canadian side of town. I think you're in Canada now, Herlan, or Jamaica. Which one of them? You, the People's National Party, you allow this government to get away with hell. The division amongst you, the different fractions of you. Carlos Gray, how are you? The different fractions of you is the very reason why the country has gotten here. We have not for the last 8 years. Lilith Lockerbie, you're in Toronto. Okay, cuz. You have not for the last 8 years posed a united front, nor have you been a stance opposition against the tyranny of this government, particularly what we have been facing since 2020. Logging behind Mark Golden, logging behind Miranda Rado, good evening. Logging behind. The momentum from the local government election, Colin Richards, have died out. It has died out. The Jamaica Labour Party has raised their rhetoric, albeit with mudslinging. Yes, you all are calling out the health service, Ransford. There is a lot more to do. Politics is about the people, the grassroots people, Mark Golden. The people out there in the highways and hedges. You're not reaching those people. You're not reaching grassroots PNP, Janet Riley. You're not solving the division in the party, Mark Golden, Unicray. You're not solving the division in the party. Take leadership. Whatever has gone wrong in the party, Mark Golden, it is your duty as the leader to try and bring the party together. It is your duty, Mark Golden, as the leader, to bring oneness to the party, to heal the division in the party, Mark Golden. We don't want another divided government. Should the people give you the chance to lead Jamaica in a People's National Party government? Sharon Bernard, how are you? We don't want a divided party to be leading the country where you're all sabotaging each other rather than the people business is being done. We don't want that. We certainly, Ronald D., good evening, don't want that divided government, Christopher. It's time for the division in the PNP heel, Mark Golden. It's time for the division in the People's National Party to heal. Lachlan, how are you? It has been going on for very much too long. It has not only affected the structure of the People's National Party. I will get there, Lachlan. It's not about that it is affecting just the structure of the People's National Party, but it is affecting good governance in Jamaica. Because of the divided and splintered People's National Party, this government has not been properly held to account. And it is your duty, Mark Golden, as the leader of the opposition and as King Charles' opposition, your duty is to hold King Charles' government to account, nifty friend. That is your job. And you should be prepare yourself. Prepare yourself, Don Fox, good evening. Should you come to government, you know what you will meet. I've been in and out of it, beat and teach. You will know what you will meet when you become government. So don't think it's an Andrew fanfare over here and you just get off of it. We're holding powerful people to account. We're holding decision makers to account. Before we go into the information war between the information ministry. Now, let me say the information ministry, Andrew Holness, the Ministry of Information is within the office of the Prime Minister. Therefore, Andrew Holness is the Minister of Information. Dana Morris Dixon is the Minister of Information without portfolio. In that type of governmental organizational structure, Andrew Holness, if you are to understand it in that sense, Andrew Holness is the Secretary of Information. And Dana Morris Dixon would thereby be the Junior Minister of Information, or in the government structure could be referred to the Undersecretary to the Secretary of Information. Thereby, if there's a conflict, Michelle Lewis Wilson, if there's a conflict or contradiction with both of those people's argument, the Secretary of Information, which is the Prime Minister, the Minister of Information, Elaine Turner, argument would supersede because he holds the higher authority. He is the Minister of Information with portfolio. Put aside he's the Prime Minister. We're just dealing, Jeffrey Worrell, with the Minister of Information. We're just dealing with that ministry. Special. So Andrew Holness. Me live at the moment. When me done, me will call you back here. Andrew Holness, the Minister of Information, Joan Bailey. And Dana Morris Dixon, you can call her the Junior Minister or the Undersecretary to the Minister of Information. So Andrew Holness, just looking at that ministry, leave out that he's prime minister. His argument take precedence. His utterances on the issue take precedence over Dana Morris Dixon. But before we go into that, I just want us to look at the day's development in Kenya. Things is still rambling on.
Was there in 2023. Therefore, the country knew that out of 3.8 trillion that we had used last year, because of inflation, because of development so and so that we are going to add, because we have JSS teachers, because we have the doctors that we added salary, we are going to be required to add into that budget 300 shillings. And therefore, this 300 billion. And therefore, this 300 billion, where is it going to come from? That is why they went for new taxation. They went and taxed bread. They wanted to tax motor vehicles. But it is proper to tell Kenyans that there will be no crisis. The Finance Act 2023 is still in force until it is repealed by the Finance Act 2024, and therefore there is no cause of alarm. The only cause of alarm is that the government might not want to do the new things that they would have wanted to do 2024 going to 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the LSK obtaining orders barring security agencies, including the police and intelligence officials, their agents or employees from arresting and holding peaceful protesters. A lot of arrests, as we're seeing, some, you'll have to give it to the security officials, are of persons that perhaps have been seen to be engaging in destruction of property, but some arrests also have been made of peaceful protesters. In terms of the arrests of such persons and those that are still in custody, what is their fate as we speak? How long are they supposed to be held for? Do they have to go through a court process to be released? Is it a bailable offense? Let's talk about those that are actually in custody but did not engage in any violence, were actually just peacefully picketing.
Yes. Yesterday, actually, you have to give it up to LSK, who have been very busy. Yesterday, LSK obtained orders from court to release 53 persons who are arrested with no justified cause. And out of the 53, only 6 were arraigned in court. And those ones were arraigned for reasons of arson, and therefore those ones were processed and they were issued with cash bail. Several others were later arraigned yesterday afternoon. But just to bring you and the nation to speed, when you are actually protesting out there and demonstrating and exercising your rights under Article 37, it is good that you do it within the confines of the law. And it is also equally important that the security agencies and apparatus, they also make sure that they don't infringe on the rights of protesters who are peaceful and unarmed. Reason, over the past few days when the protests have been rife, we have seen several people who have been arrested and abducted. And that is against the law, because what the law says in Article 49, when you are arrested, Lillian, you have 24 hours. The police have 24 hours to arraign you in court and to process you with a plea so that your charges are read, and then you either plead guilty or not guilty. And then what Kenyans should also know, especially those protesting, is that once you are arrested, you also have a right to remain silent, you also have a right to bail, and you also have a right to representation. You can ask that you may be granted the permission to call a counsel of your own liking, or you can call the LSK toll-free number. But what the protesters and the police should know, that each of them have rights. And therefore, where the rights of peaceful Kenyans end, that's where the rights of the police officer to take responsibility and to maintain law and order starts.
Yeah, and there's also a concern of where cybercrime. I mean, there's the line. Where do we draw the line as regards what is cybercrime and what is not, and what is, perhaps the concern around persons that are supporting the protests on their social media now being told to be, aggressors or to be, in support of the destruction of property, in support of treason, persons that were actually not physically present at the protests, but because of using their social media accounts have also been arrested, some actually still missing. In terms of what the law says about that, how you can use your social media account even when not physically present at these protests, and how and what where to draw the line as regards what could actually lead into a potential arrest.
Yes. One, in Kenya, we are regulated by first the Constitution. That is where we draw the right to privacy and all these other rights. But then specifically, as you have rightfully said, those cyber crimes or alleged cyber crimes by the police, it is good that the police also rely on the Cyber Crimes Act and also the Data Protection Act. Lillian, in this nation, we are normally not short of laws, because we have so many of them, but we don't maybe mostly execute them. But those who have been arrested for maybe things that they have posted on social media, what they may be looking at and what maybe the security agencies may be looking at is either they violated the privacy of some people. Maybe you remember a while ago people attempted to share contacts of senior people or leaders, the MPs and people in government. And some of the security apparatus interpreted that as an infringement of the right to privacy. Equally, the right to, or the Cyber Crimes Act also enumerates a lot of rights, and also how you can be able to use your social media without infringing on the rights of other people. But may I say at this point, the government or the security apparatus, I think, they are using old ways to deal with very new or emerging issues or trends. Because the trend that is actually on Twitter, X rather, you can actually see people posting and airing their opinions. You join a Twitter space and you find people are airing their opinions in whatever language they put, but how are the police or the government dealing with that? Because these are not usual protesters that you will find in the streets with stones, but they are actually making their voice heard. Just with a phone. Maybe someone is in their bed sitter, maybe someone is seated at home or in their workplace, but they are actually demonstrating more and making their voices heard more than the people on the street. So the government also needs to know these are new trends, and therefore we need to come up with the new ways and methods of handling these things.
And you know, Wakili, there's this common.
In context to or what our Prime Minister said, I want us to listen to that bit in particular where they spoke about social media. But yes, the bill has been pulled. The 2023 finance bill is still in force because all William Ruto got tried to at the moment after calm rejig the taxes and find somewhere else put them. This is what they all do. But we all heard what the Prime Minister said and how the argument is panning out. But let's take a listen to who the Jamaica Labour Party social media teams are.
Our social media warriors like Keisha Mack, Alex Higgs, Selena, Oral Campbell, Bridget Watson, Donovan De Paz, Black Italian, Jay Brown, Alex Jano, Mr. and Mrs. Dottyman, Chopper John West from the Chopping Block, who is our personal Ian Harding. I know that 85% or so of us sitting in Parliament. Our social media warriors.
The source of that is from the Jamaica Parliament. I don't think one would want to define that as fake news. That is the government social media warriors, they call them. Not social media JLP political activists. Social media warriors, the word used in Parliament. Social media warriors. Let's listen to our Prime Minister.
On social media that bordered on being defamatory.
The reason why I'm bringing this video, when this just came out, I read the article here. Carlos read the article as well, but some people might think the Gleaner, the article written in the Observer, the Gleaner, them are mince the Prime Minister's word. So I want to play the video so you can hear that these words came directly out of the Prime Minister's mouth and not that he was paraphrased.
Probably libelous. The person was tracked and their identity discovered. Long and short, the person was put up to doing this by another political organization. And we have been tracking several such cases where you...
Did you hear what the Prime Minister said? Did you heard what the Prime Minister said?
A post on social media that bordered on being defamatory, probably libelous. The person was tracked and their identity discovered. Long and short, the person was put up to doing this by another political organization. And we have been tracking several such cases where you see some posts being made that border on defamatory or libelous. And when you dig behind, which we have the capabilities to do, and to discover the people behind these accounts. There are young persons being recruited to do this.
So it is fair to say that the Prime Minister admitted that he's tracking young people in Jamaica. We're clear upon that, innit? We don't have no discrepancy. Say, I know, say the Prime Minister said. He did not say we are going to. We have done it. We have the capability. Are we clear on that bit, isn't it? I hope we're clear upon that. Call Dana. I hope because Dana never hear this part, you know. Dana may just heard what Andrew said to her in the press conference. Not the press conference, the cabinet meeting. So we have to play the part of Dana here. Because she never hear what him say when him spoke to the young JLP people them. She only hear their part.
It is purely out of good conscience that many of them we don't pursue because they are young people. They are being misled. They are being used for the wrong purpose. They are being used because they are native to social media, they are being used to manipulate social media, to comment on posts negatively, to spread rumors about people, to do some really nasty things. I'm not going to say too much about our capabilities to track it. And we have been tracking. And you're going to see some action.
Which other world leader have you heard use the word do nasty things when you complain about them? Do really nasty things. Is that not a complaint that you would hear regularly from Donald Trump?
Very shortly, for those persons who are using social media much of what is being done is in fact against the law. I want to say to you, the people who have chosen to be a part of the Jamaica Labour Party, the Jamaica Labour Party does not use or endorse the use of social media to attack people's character, to assassinate people's character, to spread misinformation. We have too many good news items, too many achievements that you need to promote without having to resort to attacking people. No, we deal with policies and programs and principles. People who don't have policies, who don't have programs, and don't have principles, they try to attack people. People who don't have good news try to spread bad news.
That there are. And governments around the world are dealing with this issue of misinformation and disinformation, especially on social media. And we've seen it. We know what happens. Anyone can say anything and it is amplified around the country and around the world. And it is important that as we protect the rights of our people and protect the right to freedom of expression and speech, that at the same time it is grounded in truth. And so we love the robust debate. And I say it all the time. It is important in a democracy that we can have dissent and that we can say, you're not doing good as a government. We don't like what you're doing, or you need to do this better. That's what a democracy is. And that's fine. And that's what we want to encourage, but not encouraging persons to post blatant lies online that then fuel a lot of this issue of disinformation and misinformation. And so it's very important that we understand that what the government is saying is that what is posted on social media needs to be based in truth. And in that vein, what we have said is that where there are issues or instances where we know individuals have posted things that are not true, that we will have to go after those individuals in terms of prosecuting them. And there are laws that are available. And I think the goal of everything that we are doing is ensuring that we are in an environment that is based on truth. That is what it is about. And so there is no tracking of people. There is no curtailing of people saying anything that is negative.
On social media that bordered on being defamatory, probably libelous. The person was tracked and their identity discovered. Long and short, the person was put up to doing this by another political organization. And we have been tracking several such cases where you see some posts being made that border on defamatory or libelous. And when you dig behind, which we have the capabilities to do, and to discover the people behind these accounts, there are young persons being recruited to do this. It is purely out of good conscience that many of them we don't pursue, because they are young people, they are being misled, they are being used for the wrong purpose.
Is ensuring that we are in an environment that is based on truth. That is what it is about. And so there is no tracking of people. There is no curtailing of people saying anything that is negative. That is absolutely not the case. It's just that we have to.
That is a breakdown in government. That is a breakdown in government. The Prime Minister said we have tracked a young man. There's several of such cases that we're looking into. Some of them we don't even pursue because they are young people. But yet shall tell we, no one has been tracked. In the context that they're telling us, we must find a source, either them, because remember I said the university people, the people that go to university and bright like me, have to call Andrew when they say the things on their phone to find out from the Prime Minister if it goes so or it no goes so. By definition, then, Prime Minister, you would have been the authority on fake news. Because the bright people in Waga University have to call you and ask you if a fake news this are a real news. And you have to tell them which one it be. Then the Prime Minister would have the authority on fake news if we're to believe Andrew Holness. Why is this police officer becoming so angry with the Prime Minister? Because often when he speaks out, he speaks in his uniform, or he will sit blatantly in front of the police station and speak. Is there other police officers becoming so angry and fed up of the tyrannical regime of Andrew Holness?
Andrew, you see you? You see you, Andrew? Not one more expose.
Pardon the expression, but this is a police officer. in his uniform, sitting outside of the police station, speaking to the Prime Minister. This is where it has gotten to.
I care zero. Andrew, you don't know me eat, you don't know me drink, you don't know my 4 kids and blood clot, go to school. How they eat. Too much of you, Andrew. I be a fuck with law you implement, Pawi. Fuck with law. And we work with the system, you know. We not go against the system. Because we wrong for vote you blood clot in. You see the younger generation, them give vote them, they never think. They never was thinking. Because some of them like edit. But the one them educated, they can't educate the younger set them because they not take no shot, no government. They not no governments. No govern. Too much senseless killing, man. Andrew is a pussy. Y'all lack of people for freedom of speech, Andrew. Who the fuck is you? Where you come from? Where the blood clot you come from, Andrew? Eh? Check the crime rate. Much family are dead in a one senseless killings. Man, I shoot up much family. Kick off door. I know they're killing they can't solve. The crime they can't solve. Why? No unity is not here anymore. Before we have unity and strength and divide themselves. And them in a parliament, man. All you know is about. All you know about this, the butter. The butter. Yeah. And every time Andrew fly out, that one country come back with their system. Try create their system for we in Jamaica, yeah. And you know, set certain thing in a proposal and so much homeless people out on the road. More people jobless. The jobs that people are get right now and pay less than 3,500, 4,000 a day. How much me spend for the day of work? 2 grand can't come to work. Me drive. Gas gone up, everything gone up. Andrew is a pussy. Me I tell you that. Big pussy. And if you step down, brother, we're tired of you. Too much killing are going on in the country through you, brother. Too much killing are going on in the country through you. And all in about in the parliament is about the money, the butter. Who want box of that $1 million, who want box of that $3 million. And then don't take time put it in the back. And I stress black people. Want to create more law. See? Good morning.
How much of our young police officers across the country are feeling like that? How much young officers? I know him and the policeman who did sit down in front of the police station the other day, beat and teach. I'm sure this guy is a police. He did I was in the tackle pan Andrew pan where they again, right in front of the police. Him and him other squad did it. The youth is a police. Check again, beat and teach. Check again. What they do the remember this is the second video. What the first video did be a span again. But him I sit down right at the police station in him uniform, him and him squaddy outside. And him lace up Andrew right out there. A police uniform that they have on, you know that blue uniform with the Jamaican thingy upon it with them epaulet right in front of police station. It has something to do with the security. To do with security. A police imbi. When he would have lost. Would have lost his job. Me say, me go find back the first video where him do. You hear? Right in front of the police station. This is not the first video him do. Him do, I can't remember. I can't remember the one where him do with the what that one was about, but him was lacing up Andrew as well, right in front of one police station. Unless them are go say AI. But me go find back that, me go find the other one there. The one that did over TikTok when do it there. And him turn upon him squad and you see the two of them sitting right down there. He must say, yes, he's a police. First video showed his police friend. Yes, the first video, then was sitting down right in front of the police station, and him turn the video upon him squaddy, then him turn it back upon him, and him lace up Andrew. Trust me, he's a police. He's a police. How much police across Jamaica feel like that and is ready to vent their anger against the government? You saw him on a Super show. He's a police, right at the police station. Yes, the blue overall them wear. Them won the last song. And that team them come from. The blue overall team. Right in front of, I can't remember what the other video when they post Andrew about, but I did something that irritate him. And him run out pan Andrew. Let's keep an eye on him and see where things go with him. But a police and the first video ended in a uniform. But back to the Andrew Holness information brouhaha. Further in a Dana argument, Dana said to us, we must seek source to the information, seek to find where information are factual. But she rather push us off to the mainstream media, to go to the mainstream media to verify that our information is not fake news. But it's what the mainstream media is really known for. They're really known for fake news, if the truth be told. And given the discrepancy in the argument coming from both her and Holness, when you contrast that with misinformation and disinformation, what they have left is a swelter of confusion as to whether it's misinformation or disinformation they are feeding us while trying to tell us that misinformation and disinformation may damage their political chances. Because this is about election. The younger generation who is rooted in social media, are them people that them want to teach social media literacy. Because I'm sure, given what Andrew Holness said, it's young people behind these pages. Then they wouldn't be going after our grandmas and our grandpas and our mothers and fathers to teach them social media literacy. So would it be indoctrinating the social media literacy? Would it be indoctrinating the younger generation of social media users to only think of the government in a positive light? Because those are the conversations the Prime Minister wants rammed home. How well this government is doing. The policies and programs that the government has implemented is what the Prime Minister, the conversation the Prime Minister wants to advance on social media. The Prime Minister don't want us to ask about 700 billion from the Ministry of Health. The Prime Minister doesn't want us to talk about 1.7 trillion across 3-4 government departments. The Prime Minister don't want us to question the cowboy leadership of the Ministry of Health, the badman leadership of the Ministry of National Security, the entire gangster leadership of the Jamaica Labour Party government, is what the Prime Minister does not want us to question, does not want us to highlight, does not want to talk about, does not want to have it in the media constantly, because it does not allow them to fool the people and to get away with all what them Anglina, RGR, and JBC used to get away with. When a story broke, Gleaner Wright voted this morning, JBC and RGR broadcast it today, and story dead forever. What new media has placed in front of the world is a constant revival of stories which politicians don't like. They don't even like to hear it one time. Never mind to hear it repeatedly, day go, day come, whenever we feel like we can rake it up and throw it back in your face. Mainstream media really don't do those things. Mainstream media is a lunchtime broadcast. I must go and have lunch today. Let me tell the people what it is. And then tomorrow I woefully ignore the people and decide not to follow up on the story or ask further questions. It's how mainstream media have us docile for years. The fight against government globally on social media is because they have lost the narrative. They have lost the conversation. They cannot hide the truth any longer. And it is a bother to government across the world. But when it comes to dictatorial regime, like the Andrew Holness led Jamaica Labour Party, they are willing to go the mile to breach the fundamental rights of the people in order to curtail their rights. This is how dangerous this government has become. Very dangerous. The weft of constitutional ruling, the weft of court ruling against this government unconstitutionality speak loudly. The country is confused at the moment when it comes to accountability for politicians. No one is aware at the moment of how the office of the political ombudsman works. Ever since Andrew Holness dismantled that office because it disciplined thieving Michelle Charles, because the office of the public ombudsman disciplined Michelle Charles, Andrew Holness has destroyed that office, lump it together with the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. And now the whole nation is confused as to if they have an issue or treatment, lack of service, to report to the government watchdog, to the parliament or public service watchdog. We don't really know who to report to, because it just lump up and throw together, so and nobody know who is who and what is what. But you not keep an eye constantly on this government. You just wait till Andrew make one big blunder, like you see him make this year 1 year, and everybody hawk him down, and then everybody turn a blind eye afterward. But Andrew has always been on a blunder street. Has always been on a quest for dictatorship, has always been on a quest for total control. But you don't have an eye on him. You don't have an eye on the Prime Minister. That's why the Prime Minister can Get up out in bed, roll out, and talk anything when think when him pillar torment him. I know the first Andrew Holness come act bad. Him regular have them bad man behavior there. We want to sound like him is a strong leader. Remember the not 1 inch. No other sovereign government in relation to their compound. Not 1 inch. No other sovereign government. Your strongman talks are always getting you in problem. What you need to do, Andrew Holness, everything around you is showing you, my youth, humble yourself. And every man pan the corner would wanna tell you, Andrew, my youth, humble yourself. My youth, chill. I think everybody pan the corner would wanna tell you, humble yourself, my youth. My youth, chill. But you regularly just roll comfortably, relaxingly from one problem to the next. It's like if you're not in a problem, you don't feel good. You're like some of the narcissists over TikTok, where if on a name not trend on a disgraceful manner in the media, you don't feel good. You're one of the social media narcissists in high place. You latched and grappled to social media to win the 2016 election. Let Hero Clark remind you of those who were knocking the social media drum, and not in a fair manner, Andrew Holness. They were going around the place tearing down people. That was what your social media machine did in 2016. The social media machine that you spanned, it was the same social media machine that started the debate about you and Rhoda. Remember?
Our social media warriors like Keisha Mack, Alex Higgs, Selena, Oral Campbell, Bridget Watson, Donovan De Paz, Black Italian, Jay Brown, Alex Jano, Mr. and Mrs. Dottyman, Chopper John West from the Chopping Block, who is our personal Ian Harding. I know that 85% or so of us sitting in Parliament. Our social media warriors.
Chopper John, your Chopper John from the Chopping Block. A lot of defamation case came from the Chopping Block, is it not? Your minister, your previous minister of information, now the minister without portfolio for works, ended up being sued for defamation in government. But 2016, we only have Facebook and Twitter. This is why you see, most of the JLP them hit up over Twitter same way. Twitter is really not what it is. YouTube is the big TV. Twitter them a little TV. YouTube is the big TV, the 85-inch TV in your living room when it comes to global politics going forward. Facebook and Twitter Them are like a little side TV somewhere else in the house. When it comes to big politics, Andrew Holness, YouTube is where that conversation is being done. It is really where it's at. Your people from the chopping block and others, they really do not have a YouTube audience or traction. And that is what is really winding you up. I see the Black Widow is trying to use his Facebook page to bring you along. But the Black Widow really don't have the traction either. Struggling and wallowing out there just to get attention. What the Black Widow is doing is what the Prime Minister is coaching all of us to do. Go and tell lies about Brand Jamaica. Go and promote Brand Jamaica. Even if you have to make up lies if they are good things. Because the Prime Minister no mind lying. If they are good things that support his narrative. The Prime Minister don't like truth. Because the truth shows up his incompetency. The truth shows up the Prime Minister incompetency. Some don't like it. The Prime Minister is fighting many information war on many different fronts. What the Prime Minister didn't expect is, unlike his 2016 election, unlike his 2020 election, that he pulled the wool over the people's eye. This time, it's a total different social media from his previous election. Loads and loads of independent broadcasters are out there now. A lot of different platforms where people are zooming in and focusing from different angles on the governance of the Prime Minister and the Jamaica Labour Party. The Prime Minister sees this as will dulling his chances, and thereby he wants to cry out, wolf, wolf, wolf. Social media propaganda might influence our election. Social media propaganda is influencing our election, is the cry the Prime Minister is putting forward, is the narrative the Prime Minister wants to drive in order to attack your free speech. Can the Prime Minister define fake news when there has been many fake news in recent times and lies that came from the government? Dr. Horace Chang told us on camera that Mark Golding lied about report. There were none. Surprise, surprise, while Dr. Chang was standing in front of the camera lying. Behind Dr. Chang, they were sending back the report to the Auditor General. It's the same government that want to tell us what fake news is and what blatant lies are. How do we define blatant lies? this counter briefing, because this is what you call it in the cabinet, brief and counter brief. This is not the first it has happened. I can't remember if it was during the airport debacle with Andrew Holness, where Andrew Holness came out and say one thing, and then Nesta Morgan came out and said a completely different thing. Why does Andrew Holness not allow somebody to run the Ministry of Information who has understanding about PR and not hold on to the information ministry in his office in order to steer propaganda, but not for the use of informing the Jamaican people of the work of government, the agenda and plan of government? Why not give that office with portfolio to an information guru so that office can act independently of the Prime Minister, rather than the Prime Minister censors the information that comes through government? The Prime Minister stands on a public platform and says one thing. It was when they had him remove his shoes, Elaine Turner, thank you. He said one thing, and Nesta said another thing. You know, it's not the first this briefing and counter briefing has happened between Andrew and the information ministry, because there's a difference of opinion in there. There's two different leaders in there. Nesta may think they have the office to run, but the Prime Minister is the decision maker for what goes on in that office. How can one Prime Minister run so much ministry and it's not corruption or conflict of interest? Should the Prime Minister focus on another ministry outside of defense when it comes to running the country? Is the Prime Minister being paid for these separately for the separate ministries that he runs? About in the office of the PM, about 15 to 17 different ministries and agencies run from the office of the Prime Minister. Just go up on Google and type in Office of the Prime Minister. And once you go up on the Office of the Prime Minister website, it will show you the different ministries or agencies of government that are within the Office of the Prime Minister. Only in a dictatorship, you would say a government grab so much power into their office for themselves, rather than delegate those powers to a ministry to be run. The Prime Minister have them in an office and micromanage them. And with the lack of information, the disinformation, misinformation, non-information coming from this government, we don't know if he might get paid for all of them. Because the truth is, I don't know if I just one ministerial payment, he might get or he might collect budget for all of these different ministries where he might run. Me don't know. And if nobody in the Andrew office can tell me how much different salary Andrew collect. Oh, I'm tired. I'm tired, me I go sleep. When I'm ice cream now and go sleep, I buy one grape nut ice cream. I got one Jamaican, top by one Jamaican Caribbean restaurant this evening. And they sell grape nut ice cream. I'm gonna buy grape nut ice cream and yes, I'm gonna have grape nut ice cream and cake right this very hours before I go to bed. So I can go on. How much I don't like the live. I'm on can do better. What happened to the finger? What happened to the finger? So you see, it doesn't matter in this information war that is going on. It doesn't matter what Dana Morris Dixon says. What the Prime Minister says is the final argument. No, me not gonna eat no mango tonight. Me eat mango at park today. Because when me go to park, we can mango, melon, and grape. So, all right, panda. Me go eat the ice cream and the cake before me go to bed. Don't mind what Dana Dixon said. Dana Dixon, in this context, her word hold no weight. Andrew Holness' argument supersedes her because he's the minister with portfolio for the ministry, for the information ministry. Therefore, he has the final say. So, don't mind what Dana want to say. I got what mango and decided that to have grape nut and ice cream. Hey, murder. So ignore Dana completely. Dana is but a fluff. Dana is just fluffing, trying to walk back after the Prime Minister came out and tell us the exact truth of what he has done and him and his team has done and is doing rather. Dana Morris Dixon want to come in public and do a U-turn or a walk back. When the Prime Minister explained to us in public, I have done it. There are others we are looking into. There are others who we didn't even bother to pursue when we realized they were so young. So nothing what Dana is going to come and say really makes any sense, or it is nothing for anybody to focus on, because the Prime Minister already told us what it is, how it is done, and that he has actually do it. He is currently doing it, and from that, he's going to put things in place, and we're going to see changes coming soon. That's that Andrew Holness. No matter how else, una go try and twist it and curve it and bend it. That's what it is. You hear me? A lot of people who have joined whom we never get to hail up, but you know all of you are always welcome on Global Television. Thanks to all of you who have been, who's been here tonight. I hope you can like this live and share it to other people so the message can get further out there, because this is the generation that will have to take back control of Jamaica. If we do not, we will lose multiple generations, the rights. We will lose the rights to multiple generations in Jamaica, because this very generation, all of us here and now, did not stand to secure the rights of generations ahead, like generations stood in the past, stood to secure and protect the rights that we enjoy and cherish today. So every work we do over here is about the awakening of the minds of the people. Because unless the people become aware, the awareness puts you in the know of what is happening around you. Then you start to become engaged. And from that engagement, you want to take active control in governance in whatever area you can aid governance in your country. So in this work we are doing, let's not think about us. It is the reason why we can manage to sell our votes comfortably between nomination to election. Because we're looking at a very, very narrow scope of it. Let us look at the broader scope, the longer term, 100 years down the road. Let's look at it like that. Stop looking at tomorrow. Let's look at 100 years from now. How would you want it to be? See you, your children of 4 or 5 generations now, see them in you today, and then imagine how you would want to be 100 years from now. That is what you must stand and fight for if you believe in the bloodline that will come from you. Thank you very much for being here tonight on the Global Television Group. Join us back here tomorrow when we will continue to look at the woes and situation of our country, but also look at the solutions as ways how we can move forward, overrun the system, get around the system, get out of the system. It takes unity. Thank you very much. Wake up, Black people.